In today's episode, we're going to be talking about what to do when you lose your motivation.
I can attest that this has happened to me plenty of times in the military, in business, even in the things that I enjoy. Like sometimes that motivation just seems to escape you.
So today we're going to talk about 3 things that you can do to get your motivation back. So grab your cup of coffee and meet us right back here.
Coffee with MoJo in the morning.
You're here. I'm so happy and grateful that you are. I'm your host, Molly and Luna.
And I'm Jovan Luna.
And if you didn't catch the Mo and the Joe, we make MoJo. This is the coffee. We are here.
You know, it's funny because our topic is finding motivation, right?
Yeah.
And it's really like finding your mojo.
Get your mojo back.
Trying to get your mojo back. So, just by watching this video, you got
You're
a little mojo in your life.
I just want to sing the Moana You're Welcome song. Oh, The Rock. Okay.
Great guy.
Great guy. Today we're talking about those 3 simple things that you can do to get your mojo back.
But before we do that, we need you to subscribe, like, press the little bell notification, ding, so that you can be abreast to any and all content that we release to you on a weekly basis. Doesn't it just sound so official?
It sounds
abreast
so
to
official.
all and new and emerging content.
Did you do it? You did? Great. Let's jump right into bullet point number 1. The first thing that you need to do when you lose your motivation. And for me personally, I always have to go back to the core question of why.
That is such an important question. You need to know why you started in the first place. Because ultimately, when you start down any path, whether it's business, whether it's relational, whether it's just like personal development or self-development, spirituality, whatever it is, you have to begin with the end in mind. So trusting that you guys and girls have embarked on a journey where you know what the end game looks like, you have to be reminded of that sometimes because you're focusing. You're seeing the end result and you're just going towards it. But as you're getting there, I was telling Molly this yesterday.
It's like, it's too far.
It's too far, or oh, I don't want to jump over that pit, or oh, I don't want to climb over that wall, or oh, I'm so tired of all these mishaps, whatever it is. And you just want to just get off the path. You have to remember why you started in the first place.
Why did you start? Why did you start? Yes, I want you to really dig deep and ask yourself, why did you start? Was it an intrinsic reason, something internally that you just needed to experience or express within yourself? Was it something externally? Were you doing it to impress somebody or to try to attain a certain accolade or more income, or what was it?
You know, in a previous video, we talked about 3 ways to an awesome life, and
we'll add a link to that.
And we'll add a link to that. The bullet point 2 was having a curiosity that's bigger than yourself. So a lot of times you got to go back to why am I doing this, and who will be affected if I stop this? And in the acting world, they call that what's at stake. If I quit this particular project, if I quit going after this particular goal, what's at stake? Who's affected? What will I not get? What will I be lacking? What will I be withholding from the world? These are kind of questions you got to ask yourself, so you know like what's on the line if you just decide not to do this anymore.
Right. You know, regret is one of the biggest factors I think we can all relate to from time to time. And I know oftentimes to even get started initially is that fear of criticism.
Right.
But if you don't get started, and let's say you've started and now you've lost your motivation, right? If you just take a moment to ask yourself, what's at stake here if I don't continue? What is that thing that I'm withholding from the world? If you stop now, is it something potentially that you will regret in the future for not sticking it out?
I'd rather ask, what if before I quit, then what if after I quit?
Right, after the years have gone by and it's like, what if I would have just stuck that thing out? Like, where could I be now? Yeah, so just really ask yourself that question. And the next little bonus thing I would like to add to this section is try to leverage those intrinsic and extrinsic whys. So if you initially started out because it was a curiosity, something that you just wanted to try, and you really didn't make it bigger than yourself or about other people, I want you to try to leverage it and see if you can make it about other people. And or if it's in reverse, if you were making it about everybody else, before you give up on it, see if you can tie it back into something intrinsically important to you and also make it about yourself. Now, if you get to the point where you're like, okay, my original why I started this thing, it's no longer really in alignment with me anymore, then what I want you to do is number 2, which is really elevate your ambition. I think oftentimes, just us as society, at least here in the States, we set our ambition way too low. We kind of go for those things that we think are attainable or that we have an idea of how to accomplish it.
Like the low-hanging fruit.
Like the low-hanging fruit, yeah. Like we'll get ourselves caught up in the day-to-day mundane crap because we think that it's necessary for us to be successful. Mm-hmm. But I want you to give yourself permission when that motivation is low and you feel like you've completely lost it. Give yourself permission to just take a step back and dream a little bit bigger. I would venture to guess that your motivation, it's not lost, it's just that your ambition wasn't high enough.
So our third and final bullet point would be, you don't want to hear this, but just do it anyways.
Do it anyway. Yeah, don't let if you come to the conclusion that it's your fear of criticism or that you're like, I don't know how to do it sort of situation, like just do it anyway.
It's like Nike said, just do it.
Why are we endorsing them? This is not a paid ad.
I know, I'm just saying. But it's true, sometimes you just have to get up and do it. You know, you have your ego brain or your reptilian brain that's basically trying to that's just trying to keep you safe and not make you be uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. And in every moment of your life, your ego brain is trying to do the thing that's going to keep you the safest and the most comfortable and out of harm's way. So, doing the thing is 9 times out of 10, or just 10 times out of 10, the unsafest thing, the most uncomfortable thing. Because it's like, I can either write the book today, write my 10 pages today, or I can take a nap. Mm-hmm. Or I can stay on my diet, or I can smoke some weed and eat Cheetos. It's really that simple. Wallace Wattles, he's the author of Science of Getting Rich. Wrote this like in the 19th century, I believe. His thing was, in every moment of every day, you're either taking a step towards what you want to become, or you're walking away from it. There's no staying where you are, because if you're staying still, you're going backwards. So you're either writing the book or you're not writing the book. You're either on your diet or you're not on your diet. You're either exercising or you're not exercising. There's no such thing as a gray area. Sometimes you gotta get up and do it.
Just get up and do it. A recent example in my own life was that I decided I want to be a keynote speaker. I want to stand on stage and I want to positively impact and influence thousands of people across the globe. And I worked very diligently to land my recent keynote. And I was so excited, so motivated. I worked a long time in getting my speech together. And then the day of, I was like, I'd rather not have to, put my makeup on and get in the car and wear heels and go. Like, I'm not gonna have to wear heels, but I didn't want to do it, right? Like, I'd lost my motivation. But I'd made a commitment. So that might be a bonus tip for you, actually, is commit and find somebody that's gonna hold you accountable. Having an accountability partner is crucial to helping you stay motivated, because the day of, I'm supposed to show up and deliver my keynote that I'd prepared for and I was so excited for, but my brain was telling me, don't do it, don't go, it's not safe. Like I literally had lost my motivation, right? But thankfully, my accountability partner here helped give me a little extra boost, and I went and I shared and I served and I had a great time, and I got a lot of incredible feedback for the message that I had delivered that day. So you kind of have to not listen to motivation sometimes, and you just have to do it anyway. So take some action right now. Tell us in the comments below, which of these 3 things will you start doing to get your motivation back?
And remember, the best conversations go down at mindfulmamastv.com. And while you're at it, go on down there, join the email list, and become a MoJo Insider so you can get that also awesome exclusive content that we don't share with nobody but people on the email list.
That's right, we don't. So thank you so much for joining us today. I sincerely hope you were able to help elevate and reestablish your own personal motivation. We'll meet you here next time at Coffee with MoJo. And until then, remember, master your mindset and go out there and live your legacy. amateur hour. You must hit record before we can record the thing for the thing.